optic mounted on it.
The optic's bigger than the gun. Oh.
Howdy folks, for today's video, we're going to go over a fun little project I did recently. A while back, I worked on building a couple of those single-shot AR-15 pistols with some buddies of mine. Then we went out and tested them out, had a good time, a fun time, and then I made a video to show part of the process and the test firing of those AR-15 pistols. Some of the people commented on the video on how the AR-15 pistol looked like an old C96 broom handle Mauser pistol, but without the stock. While I did see some similarities, it wasn't quite the same, or even really that similar due to the bolt action nature of the gun. Well, a few months back, I was at one of my favorite local gun shops, Gunnies, and was chatting with some of the gun guys behind the counter. I usually ask them when I walk into the shop if they have anything old, referring to World War II or surplus rifles, or new, referring to new stuff that I haven't seen before, or odd/interesting, referring to weird guns or weird gun accessories. I always kind of get a kick out of seeing the weird stuff. This time, they didn't have any new surplus rifles, nor did they have anything in stock that I hadn't already seen, but when I asked about the odd or interesting stuff, they showed me a weird little Glock accessory made by Tactical. After making fun of it for a minute or two, I asked if I could throw it on one of the store Glocks, which they allowed me to do. We then added an SBA-3 arm brace to it and played around with it a bit, just to see how it felt and whatnot. I was actually thoroughly surprised on how strong and sturdy it attached and how it felt, because at first I thought it looked pretty cheap and kind of hokey, to be honest. After looking at it for a bit, I got an idea in my head that I should buy it and use it to build a modern day equivalent of this old C96 broom handle Mauser pistol. So I bought the Tactical arm brace adapter, or I guess it's more of a buffer tube adapter, but I figured since the old Mauser C96 has an attachable stock, the Tactical arm brace adapter would give the same effect without having to pay a $200 tax stamp to attach a normal rifle stock. I could just utilize that Tactical adapter with a modern arm brace. The Tactical adapter fits full-size Glocks, and I figured I could use it on either my Glock 20 in 10mm or maybe my Glock 21 chambered in 45 ACP that I had gotten late last year during a nice Palmetto sale. The Tactical arm brace adapter installs in seconds and feels nice and firm and sturdy. Combined with the SBA-4 arm brace, it makes one heck of a combo. I took it out to the range with a couple of buddies just to see how it shot with the iron sights. I was pretty impressed with how well it shot and the shots I could make at farther than normal distances for the regular Glock handgun chambered in 45 ACP.
It's kind of cool.
I decided it'd be cool to try out some optics on the Glock, but since the Glock didn't come with the slide cut for like an RMR or reflex sight, I thought I would finally try out my Tactical UM3 optics adapter, which mounts to the bottom rail of the handgun and then allows you to mount an optic above the slide in a non-reciprocating manner. I picked up the Tactical UM3 optics adapter from the local NPS discount store. The optic of choice for this project was one of my chunky but awesome Vortex UH1 holographic sights. We took it to the range, sighted it in, and tested to see how shootable it was. With the optic so high above the bore, you couldn't get a proper cheek weld on it, and still see the optic, but even without the proper cheek weld, it was still a hoot to shoot and very shootable. The holographic nature of the optic combined with the large red ring with the red dot in the middle allowed for fast target acquisition and accurate shots.
Nicked it.
Yeah, that was me. Did I hit that?
Yep.
Wow.
If you're aiming at that black one in the far, aim at the top of it. Yeah, you got it.
I decided that the modern version of the C96 Mauser pistol would of course have a threaded barrel for the option of suppressing it, because I like to shoot everything suppressed if I can. Plus, 45 ACP is a great cartridge for suppressing due to the subsonic nature of, well, pretty much all the rounds. So I ordered an Alpha Wolf barrel from lonewolfdist.com. Besides having the threaded muzzle of the barrel, it utilizes cut rifling or traditional rifling, which tends to give a little better accuracy in the Glocks when shooting cast bullets, which of course I always tend to use. I installed the barrel and shot it a little, with the suppressor and without. It's pretty fun to shoot like that. I did, however, notice a problem with mounting the optic on the Glock 21 using the UM3 mount. There was a lot of flex due to the polymer frame of the Glock 21, and I read online about premature wear when using those types of optics mounts on the Glocks. That meant I would have to use a different optic and mount. I didn't quite feel like cutting the slide for an RMR or paying for that service, so I looked at other options. One of these options was from Suarez International. They had a product called the L mount for Glocks. This mount basically installed by removing the rear sight and backplate and then sliding on the mount onto the Glock in its place. And for the optics choice, I chose an RMR Type 2. I had really good luck with my Glock 34 and the RMR Type 2, so I figured I'd probably try another one. I ended up accidentally getting a fake on Amazon first through the Amazon warehouse, but I was able to return it for a full refund and get a real one. For iron sights, I added some Ameriglow suppressor height Glock sights, blacked of course, so that they wouldn't interfere with the RMR reticle, which installed onto the L mount and co-witnessed with the RMR. And once in place, you tighten the set screw to keep it where you want it. After installing those, I went ahead and bore sighted it and took it to the range. Okay, ready?
Right.
Yep.
Back. He's going way back.
Out over there.
Yeah.
Ready.
Big bed work.
I have to aim a little high on that one. It's like very shootable.
That was surprising with that stock. Have you shown the stock? Like, because it actually has
Not a stock.
contact points.
It's an arm brace.
It's because that brace has two contact points instead of just like with like some of the other broom handles, right? They only had it down at the bottom, so it'd have a lot of
It's actually very stiff and like rigid, I guess. Not stiff, but rigid. Surprisingly. Like it just, the way it connects right there is kind of
closer on that.
like, it's
Is it like attached to the frame there, or?
No, it just has a little indentation and it like,
It holds tight.
but it holds tight and rigid.
There we go. Mostly sighted in. What are you doing with this gun? Alright, so now when you look through it, you can see. Alright. Oh, you're doing the swap. Is the ear things getting in the way? Who cares? Just on and do it. At this point, it's already happening. That's what I take pictures with it.
Yeah, you can see it moved up, right?
All in all, I have to say that I quite enjoyed shooting it with the big clunky holographic sight a bit more than the RMR. I guess part of that is due to the fact that the optic is not reciprocating on the slide, and the big red ring of the UH1 is fast to find for multiple follow-up shots. While fun to shoot, in all practicality, I think I'd just prefer a pistol caliber carbine instead, with a rifle or carbine trigger instead of a Glock handgun trigger. My son had a hard time with the stock Glock trigger after being spoiled with the great triggers of some of the rifles that we had been shooting earlier, and my break action Encore pistol.
What do you think? Cool. Is it harder to shoot than like the other ones?
Which one are you shooting?
The red one back there.
It is fun though, and if you don't plan on spending money to buy a pistol caliber carbine, I'd say try out an Endo tactical adapter with an arm brace, preferably the SPA4, and see what you think. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, stay safe and have fun.